It is Thursday, August 28th. School's right around the corner. College football is at the corner, and it is a beautiful day out. No Good Takes, episode 23. Jeremy Horowitz, Giuseppe Oliveri saying hello from wherever you may be watching. Plenty to talk about. Mets and Yankees sweep. They have their success series, and they were much needed for both of those teams. We have some news in football to talk about. We're going to go around SKENES versus SKUBAL, SKUBAL versus Crochet for the AL Cy Young race. I think it's closer than people may think. And then we're going to get out of here with some NFL playoff teams who, missed the playoffs last year and who we think have the best chance of getting in. Jeremy, welcome on in, brother. How are we feeling?
Hello. Yeah, I'm feeling good. It's good to be back. A beautiful Thursday. I woke up, birds are chirping. I felt a little cold breeze on my window, and that only means one thing. It's time for college football. I know we'll get into that maybe a little bit later. If not, we'll get into it next week. But very, very exciting time of year. College football right around the corner. NFL officially a week away. So I am officially a week away from becoming a full-time delusional Jet fan yet again and letting a 53-man roster control my life for the next 4 months and change. And, I'm ready for it. So life's good.
Well, we've been letting the Mets and Yankees control our lives. Maybe not you so much. I think you've done a good job of mentally checking out. I haven't been able to. I've been hooked even on the whole losing streak. But college football, it means fun football. You know what it means? It means either winning or losing a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I think you usually have some pretty successful bets through the college season.
Yeah, so I track all my bets on this app called Action. Last year during the college football season, I was up over $700. NFL is up around $750. My best sport was college basketball. I was up like $850 in that.
Mm-hmm.
But we got time for college hoops. Hopefully build up a bankroll with both college football and the NFL season. I'm excited. It's the best time of year.
My Uncle Bob is nuts with the betting.
I love it.
He's like over 60 years old. I don't think he knew how any of it worked. And he texts me every week. He texts me his spreads and he was going to cover or not. You want to talk about a guy who I'm confident could probably make like 6 figures just betting? It's probably him. He is an absolute phenom.
That is
when
awesome.
It comes to that stuff. But yeah, we'll get on some college football later. We'll throw it in at the end of the show. Definitely some betting from Jeremy at least. He'll tell you guys where to go and what direction because I don't have a clue. I'm going to listen too.
I'm itching.
Okay, here we go. Let's get into some MLB topics. We'll start with the Mets because they took the biggest series of their season and they did it in convincing fashion. The Phillies, that's their house of horrors. We talk about the circle of suck every single show, but that's 10 straight losses at Citi Field now for the Phils. And they went into the series with a 7-game lead in the NL East. It is now down to 4. The Mets get the tiebreaker over the Phillies. So if they match the Phils the rest of the way, somehow sweep them at Citizens Bank Park later in September for that 4-game set. Mets win the NL East. It's a lot to talk about. The Mets are riding a high wave of momentum. I doubt they'll win the division, but it is fun to talk about. So, Jeremy, we'll start with McLean. He goes 8 scoreless for the Mets. I wish he came out for the 9th. That would have been electric, but Brooks Raley shuts the door. Is Noah McLean getting into the conversation of the Mets' most trusted starter?
I think, yeah, by default, because who else do you really have? I know a couple weeks ago we talked about the Mets kind of needing an injection of youth into their roster and especially into the rotation. And McLean has been exactly that and more. I mean, I think you kind of put it perfectly. He's been the Mets' best pitcher for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And it is crazy to say that because, coming into the season, this rotation was built off guys like Sean Manaea, who had career year last year, and other guys like Clay Holmes and Frankie Montas, and even Kodai Senga, who they had question marks around him, but you expected them to be much better than they were. But the fact that McLean's coming in, and I figured he'd have success, but he's dominating these major league hitters. He makes them look stupid. 8 scoreless against the Phillies yesterday. That is video game-like stuff. You don't expect a guy in his, 3rd start in the MLB against a powerhouse lineup like that in a huge divisional matchup to go 8 shutty. That is just an insane performance.
I mean, and through his first 3 starts in the MLB, he's let up just 10 hits, 2 earned runs. He's walked 4. He struck out 21.
That's just crazy.
These are against good lineups. Against the Mariners, he went 5 1/3, then let up a run. Against the Phillies, he lets up 4 hits in 8 innings. He strikes out 6. He struck out 7 against Seattle. He struck out, 8 against Seattle, 7 against Atlanta. He hasn't had a start where he struck out less than 6 yet. And I know he's going to come down. I know people want to compare this to the Noah Syndergaard-esque appearance in 2015 where he gets called up midway through the year and he's lights out. I don't think it's going to be that. I know he's going to hit a wall. I'm sure he's going to have a shaky start before the season ends. It's just natural. It happens. But for him to do it, and not just in these games, but the teams you're facing, Jeremy, and I know the Braves are no big deal this time of the year, but for the Mets, they're always a big deal. And he was nothing but efficient. The Phillies, this is the biggest start of the season for any pitcher, not just him. And he goes 8 scoreless, strikes out 6 against Seattle. Again, which you can argue was a series that turned the Mets around at least a little bit before they hit the wall in Washington. And he strikes out 8. And the only other pitcher where I could say I'm more confident in is David Peterson, just because he can give me more length than McLean, even though he just went 8 scoreless. I don't think he's going to do that every time out. I think David Peterson, he's expected to go 7 innings at least every start at this point. But in terms of, that young spark to turn a season around and give a Mets fan hope again, Noah McLean has been the answer.
Yeah, it's crazy to say that a guy in his third start. Like, it feels like he saved the season in a way. And I know, like you mentioned, the Braves haven't been that great this year, but every time the Mets play the Braves, that is a playoff-esque environment. And, both teams want to play spoiler for the other. And it's kind of a pick-me stat. I saw it maybe half hour ago. I think Passan tweeted it. The Braves I think they're third in runs scored since the All-Star break, which, again, kind of like a pick-me stat. But, like, their offense has been better in the second half of the season. And, like, last Friday, McLean going into Atlanta and shutting them down, just like he shut down Philly yesterday and Seattle in his first start. It's very impressive stuff. Like, obviously, he's in the MLB because of his talent, but we had conversations, whether it would be him or it would be Brendan Sproat, and obviously they went with McLean. Do you think that they knew, like, he has the mental aspect of it, like the mental aspect of his game was maybe stronger than Sproat's, or he just, like, McLean was, I guess, more ready mentally?
You gotta know. You're so surrounded by these guys, and they were talking with the AA, AAA coaches. You gotta know what kind of players they are. And it's not to say that Brandon Sproat isn't mentally ready. And if a mentality check was such a big factor on who got called up and McLean's better, it's no knock on Sproat. It's just you need the guy you have the utmost confidence in. And Sproat gave you innings. But what McLean did was kept you out of trouble. And he did it in 5 or 6 innings in AAA. And when they called him up, I was a little surprised it wasn't Sproat, just because Sproat gives way better length. But McLean's gone deep so far. And again, that strikeout stuff, it's something that no Mets pitcher has been able to bring all season long. So I agree with you. A mentality aspect of it, of course, there's got to be one. But I think his strikeout stuff, and he just gives you such a unique feel that no other pitcher in this rotation gave you all season. Because Sproat could go 7 innings, let up 2. But I think the Mets were opting for McLean, give you 5 or 6, strike out 5+, and hopefully give up nothing in the process. And that's exactly what they've gotten so far.
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of pushing all the right buttons now, and this is the right time to do it. I mean, the Mets were playing playoff baseball pretty much since like late May, early June last year. If they're going to get hot now and get into October, this is the perfect time to get hot. Late August, early September, the bats get rolling around, the pitching staff really starts to bear down, and you're able to use the bullpen the way it was supposed to be used. Yes. This is the time of year where the Mets, I think, are the scariest. If, like we said a couple weeks ago, if they get hot, it's got to be right around, end of August, early September. That's what we're seeing now. And I figured they'd win the series against Philly. I didn't think they would absolutely dominate it the way they did. I was never expecting a sweep out of them. I figured they'd win it, 2 out of 3 they'd take from Philly. And, each game would be, competitive. Like yesterday, the Mets had no chance to lose that game. The Phillies had no business even being on the field with them. The Mets were up, I forget, what was it, like 5-0? Was it 5-0 the other night when Nimmo hit the walk-off?
Yes.
And Helsley came in and blew it. Like, even then, like, you just kind of felt that the Mets were going to come back and win. Like, I don't know if we've been able to say that for a while. It really feels like it's a different team of the past week or two.
Yeah, and early April, that's what it felt like. It felt like that Mets lineup was so good that you could never count them out of any game. And I was thinking the total opposite of you, Jeremy. When I saw the Mets take care of business in Atlanta, how they've been so streaky and unable to stay consistently hot, I said the Phillies are going to stop that. And you're going to lose the division that series. And with how Cincinnati fares against Los Angeles, you might be out of a playoff spot. That was my mentality. Because in all fairness, as a Mets fan, you haven't been given anything to think the Mets would actually, pony up and stay hot. And they did just that. And I don't know, the Phillies had trouble in Citi Field, but I hate looking at those stats, even though I always bring it up with the Mets in Atlanta. I always think that it's such nonsense, but clearly something is working. It's some magic in the air or some BS like that, because the Mets just take care of business when they play the Phillies at home. And I wish I could find it. I was trying to look for it before the show, but this is the first time in a very long time, since I can remember, where the Mets are closer to the Phillies for the division than the Reds are closer to the Mets for the wild card. And the Reds got swept out of the Dodgers Stadium, which was huge for the Mets, sweep the Phillies.
That's the first time getting swept all year, too, the Reds.
Yeah, bad time to do it.
Yeah.
And, I've been saying it. I said at the beginning of the year, and I've been holding my breath, but even, Jeremy, I said it with you. The Reds were never going to catch the Mets because they were going to get hot. The Reds were going to catch the Mets because the Mets weren't going to be able to win.
Right.
And I think they peaked. I knock on wood. I hope the Reds don't come back and show some magic again, but I think that was it. I think they showed that last stretch. They put their foot on the gas as much as they could, and they just ran out of steam. Not to knock the Reds, because they put up way more of a fight than I thought they would. And look, they play the Mets in September, and then the Mets have a 4-game set against the Phillies in Citizens Bank Park. That could be enough to get the Reds back into the playoff race. It could.
100%.
But as of right now, how I see this team, I just think that they lost steam, and I don't know if they can get it back in time.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. They go home to play St. Louis for 3, which whatever, St. Louis is okay. Then you got to host Toronto. You got to host the Mets. You got to go to San Diego. You get 2 series off, in my opinion, when you play Oakland, you play St. Louis again. Then you're right back into the thick of things when you play the Cubs for 4 at home, and you got to play the Brewers to close out the year with the Pirates sandwiched in between. So you're assuming you're seeing Skenes in one of those 3 games. Like, that's not a gauntlet to go through, but that is not a very easy schedule for the Reds. And not that the Mets have an easy schedule by any means. But, yeah, you put it perfectly when we spoke about it maybe a month ago. The Mets were never going to let the Reds catch them. The Mets were just going to pretty much lose the spot.
Like in 2022, the Mets lost the division to the Braves, but the Mets were winning, and the Braves were just winning more. And it was one of those one-in-a-lifetime things where you see the Braves just catch fire. And it would have been the total opposite. It would have been both teams were struggling, but one team was just a little better, like the Yankees and Orioles last year for the division. One team just had to be a little better, even though they were both stumbling to the finish line. And the Mets finally starting to win. The guys are starting to hit. Vientos, man. This has been such a total resurgence. And this is the Vientos you were supposed to see all season long. And he told Steve Gelbs that he had his swing and his approach changed to start the year because he wanted the better numbers. He was chasing stats. And now he's simplified the game. He's calmed down. He's gone back to the last year's approach. And he's the most prolific hitter in this Mets lineup right now. Francisco Alvarez started rehab, got hit in the freaking hand again. He can't catch a damn break, and I don't even know his status. But assuming that it's okay and Alvarez is back in the Mets lineup sooner rather than later, Torrens and Hayden Sanger, I always say Cody, Hayden Sanger are playing good enough offensively, which is crazy to say, and they're better than Alvarez defensively, where you can DH Alvarez if he can't throw the ball. And then Winker's on the way back, Jose Siri's on the way back, and Tyrone Taylor's playing good now. Who the hell do you DH? Because Starling Marte is too good to keep out of the lineup right now. It's like the JD Martinez situation of last year. He was never supposed to be in the lineup this late in the season, but how the dominoes have fell, you can't justify taking him out. It's a good problem for the Mets. Some people hate that saying. I love it. It's a good problem for the Mets right now. The first time all year the Mets have so many good players in front of them, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's never a problem to have too much talent. I mean, I totally agree. I hate when people say, well, then it's a tough decision to make. But say, late in the game, an opportunity presents itself. You can just make, an easy substitution defensively, or, say Vientos, I'm just making things up, hypothetically. Say he struggles against righties, right? Then you have Winker on your bench, and Vientos is already in the DH spot. You can just make that quick swap. You know what I mean? Having too much talent, having too much offensive prowess is never a big, it's never a problem. And dude, Vientos I'm just looking at his last 5 games. He's had 1 hit in all the last 5, at least 1 RBI in all the last 5. He's homered in 3 out of the 5. It's a completely different hitter. And I feel like that's most, if not all of the Mets lineup right now.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And the power is there. And again, all the little things are right. Runners in scoring position, they're getting cashed in. You haven't seen that before this stretch since, you guessed it, 2024. And you, again, two out hitting. The Mets have been the best two out hitting team since July. And that has gone so under the radar because they have continued to lose games because of the pitching. And I said it earlier in the year, and I can't not stand by it now. If the Mets do falter, it will be because the offense goes limp. And look, we talked about peaking with the Reds. You still have a month to play. And we know this Mets lineup has been extremely shaky. I'm not ruling out the possibility of them going dead again. It can totally happen. But as of right now, you got to take what you're watching, and they're all hitting. They're all having so much fun at the plate. Even Soto hasn't been Juan Soto like we saw in the middle of June where he was just tearing it up. But he's taking his walks. He's getting somewhat clutch hits. He had a big spot a couple nights ago and he struck out. But, he's getting on base still. He's doing at least what you paid him to do, the bare minimum, get on base. And I don't know. The Mets, you feel good right now. I saw with Alvarez, I just looked it up. It's the left pinky finger. He's being evaluated, but thank God it's not that thumb that's been giving him trouble forever. So we'll see what happens with him. But what are the chances, last thing on the Mets here, that they actually catch the Phillies? If you have to give me a percentage, what do you think it would be?
You said they're 4 games back?
4 games back,
I mean,
and they have the tiebreaker.
With a month to go, that's really a game a week. That's how I think of it, right? So you have 4 weeks, you're 4 games back. You have to make up a game a week, especially now you have the tiebreaker. So that's even more favor for the Mets. I mean, I'm looking at their schedule. Like, you play the Marlins for 4 starting today. That's got to be at least 3 out of 4, potentially a sweep. I know the Marlins are tough. They're scrappy, but, this is a time here you got to beat up on those teams. And you go to Detroit. I think, they could potentially win the series. You got to hope you don't see SKUBAL. Then, like you said, Cincinnati for 3. Then you go to Philly for 4. Like, there's definitely a chance, but it's all going to start in this series against Miami, in my opinion. I feel like this series kind of dictates how the Mets are going to finish out. I know it's, still early and there's about a month left, but if you can't take care of business with the Marlins, like they couldn't take care of business in Washington, then I think they just got to play for the wild card.
And they totally could lose to Miami. Miami gives them trouble. They always
the Yankees have horrors too. I think you ask for a percentage. I think the Mets have probably a 35 to a 45% chance. I think that's good. Let's see what the odds say from the win the division. I'll check that.
I think that's high. I mean, if you had a gun to my head, what's the odds the Mets win the division? I'd say they probably have a 7 to 10% chance.
Really?
It's still, look, 4 games is a lot. That 4 games already is a lot, and that's assuming the Phillies go on some losing streak. The Mets just got to stay competitive until they get back to Citizens Bank Park September 8th.
The Mets are plus 340 to win the division, right, as of right now. That's on FanDuel. Let me see the Phillies schedule. Because if they have a cakewalk, there's no chance.
Phillies don't have a cakewalk by any means. They have the Brewers, Dodgers,
Marlins, Mets. The Royals have been playing good. They're a tough team.
They can definitely make some noise.
The D-backs, who have been playing better as of late, and the Marlins again. I mean, I feel like the schedules are pretty even. I think the Phillies have a tougher schedule just because you got to play Atlanta again for 4, and I think Atlanta is definitely a tougher team than Miami. It's all going to come down to that last series between the Mets and the Phillies in early September. That's because the way I'm envisioning it, the Mets are going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 games out of the division lead at that time, and so you win the series, you have the division.
I mean, my whole philosophy with the Mets right now, if I'm Carlos Mendoza, obviously I'm not telling this to my guys, but if you could stay, let's say in a perfect world, you're 2 games back of the Phillies going to that series in Philadelphia, September 8th. If you take 3 out of 4, even if you split, just don't lose ground. Stay 2 games back. Because after that, you get Texas, and then you got to welcome San Diego. The Phillies welcome Kansas City, then they go to LA. If you can stay close to there, I feel like it's in your hands. You take care of business. The Royals, I don't know what this feeling is about the Royals. I feel like they're going to be in some conversation for the wild card at the end of the year.
Yeah, they're hot. I like that team. I like the Royals.
Say they are, and my hypothesis is correct. And It's the Phillies and Dodgers in Los Angeles. At the very least, you have to welcome San Diego home. You swept them last year at home. You haven't had that same success against the Padres this year, but damn, dude, anything can happen at this time of the year.
Yeah.
With the Mets, it's exciting because another team, though, Jeremy, as I'm looking at it, the Rangers can make noise at the end of the year. Even though I'm so down on the Rangers,
I hope they do.
Yeah, for your sake, you got some money on the line there.
Yeah, I have the Royals over 81.5 wins, and I have the Rangers over 86.5 wins.
Gotta need some late stretch there, but
Yeah,
then the
Royals have
Nationals
the 2 games over.
There you go. They gotta push. You gotta fight. That's all it is. They gotta fight. They'll fight.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a fun final month of the baseball season. I mean, again, I mentioned like I've been kind of out on, not baseball, but out on the Yankees this year, just because like I know what I'm getting. You know what I mean? But like baseball itself this year, I think has been relatively fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's been a good MLB season, but
good storylines. Even the teams that suck have had fun players to watch.
Yeah,
they've
like
good
storylines. In Colorado.
All right, I said teams that suck, dude, and you just gave me the best team in the league. Did you see the MLB what they did? They always spread this propaganda this time every year. Rockies eliminated for playoffs. Who determines that?
I think the math does.
Oh my god! Every year, it's this time of the year.
What's their record? I need to know.
I don't know. They're probably close to 100.
38-95.
Well, you're not judging by the real season after the trade deadline where you have your.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking that up.
Yeah, that's when the real season starts. That's when you have your team.
Are they the worst in the league? Or?
No, yeah. Don't even look. Don't waste your breath on it. It's fine. They're good. They're okay. Got Ethan Holiday. It's gonna be a stud in a few years. Of course, baby. This is gonna make that guy into a monster. He's like what, 15 years old?
He's young.
I don't know. He's young. All right. But that's it on the Mets. Unless you have anything else to say, we can move on to the Yankees.
No, I think this is kind of the time of year when the Mets become fun again. Like I know it's one series against the Phillies, but it feels like it's more than that. Like this feels like a huge playoff win in a way. And I'm not even a Met fan saying that. So I feel like this is it should be a kickstart for them for the rest of the season. This should be the momentum they ride out into, hopefully for your sake, a deep postseason run. But if the offense falters, they have no chance. Because
totally,
they're going to have to be like the Knicks in a way. And just stay with me on this. Like,
all right,
you're going to have to outscore your problems. Like defensively, the Knicks. I am. What's the word? Comparing the Knicks defense to the Mets pitching staff. Like you're going to give up. You're going to give up a lot. You're going to have to outscore your problems in order to win. And if they can do that, hats off to them.
But I don't know. Right now, yes. But as I sit here and I think realistically, and this is assuming that Jonah Tong makes an instant splash like he's been doing in the minor leagues, all of a sudden, your top three in a wild card series, your top three is two rookies in McClain and Tong.
Yeah.
And David Peterson. If Jonah Tong shows you really good stuff and the amount of starts he gets in the regular season, and you don't win the division and you're playing in a wild card, even if you win the division, you got to take the top two seeds, and you're playing in a division. Look, dude, I love Sean Manaea. I really do. And I'm rooting for him, and I hope he comes around. But he hasn't shown enough where I could say, I trust this guy with my season on the line. If it's game 3, and I already rolled out Peterson and McClain, I'm rolling out Jonah Tong if he's showing me anything close to what he did in Double and AAA.
And I think that's probably better for them because the other teams aren't going to have much film or scouting on them. They're just going to, they're going to have whatever they have on them from like the minors and stuff, but they're not going to have nearly as much information as they would on a guy like Manaea or Peterson or Sanga or Clay Holmes. Like if Tong is really that good and he can, be another guy like McClain to kickstart this rotation, then they're 100% scary. Like I feel like that really rounds them out because in the playoffs you don't need 5 starters. You can get away with 3. Maybe a 4th, but like you can get away with having 3 starting pitching.
And then especially with the Mets scenario, Holmes or Sanga to the bullpen, whoever you choose there, it's a guy who can at least
lengthen it out. Exactly. On paper, it makes sense for them to like make a run. But if Alonso goes, because I mean, again, I don't watch every Met game. I'm not a big Met fan like you are, but the way it looks to me, if Alonso is hot, the Mets will hit. If Alonso's cold, the Mets don't hit. I feel like he's the guy who they just kind of ride his wave.
That's how it's always been, though. Lindor and Alonso typically dictate the success
Right.
of the offense. But for the first time now, even the days where Alonso isn't hitting, again, the bottom of the lineup is starting to shift that narrative at least a little bit.
Mhm.
So it's interesting. All right, now we're done with the Mets. My last tidbit: Alec Boehm can take that little microphone that's giving trouble, shove it up his ass. He got swept. It had nothing to do with it. Now the fans are bringing them to the stadium for stupid gimmicks. I hate it.
Yeah.
No gimmicks, just win.
They'll probably rally around it in a month or two.
They'll rally
Or a week
around
or
it.
two, I mean.
All right, here we go. Time for the Yankees because they total belt to ass with the Nationals. I mean, but it's what you needed. And I know that the initial thought is going to be, well, they didn't do it against Boston. Boston's a good team. They give the Yankees trouble. The division does. But when you need a get-me-right series, which the Mets were unable to do against the Nationals, it was huge. And it wasn't just winning. It was dominant winning.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Jeremy, call me crazy. This could have been the Yankees' biggest series up until this point for just a get-me-right series to turn you around upward for the rest of the season.
That's what it feels like, to be honest with you. I mean, I feel like every series is, that make or break series ever since the Subway Series on the 4th of July weekend at Citi Field. Like, I really feel like ever since then, every series has been so heavily covered and, circled on every Yankees calendar in their locker or whatever. Yeah. But you're playing the Washington Nationals. They suck. They are a horrible baseball team. You're supposed to beat them. My problem, I don't want to nitpick wins, but all they do is homer. You're not going to do that against Boston, or we just saw it. They didn't do it against Boston. You're not going to do it in the playoffs. That's the only way they know how to win. And granted, it's cool. Again, it puts fans in the seats and it looks great on Instagram and TikTok. But when you're in October and you're facing Aroldis Chapman in a one-run game in the bottom of the 9th inning in a do-or-die, wild card game or ALDS game, that's not a recipe for success. And I don't want to be the negative guy after a really great series for the Yankees and everyone homers and everyone scores runs. But again, Anthony Volpe did nothing. So I think Caballero's got to be the guy moving forward. The pitching was great, which I really feel like the Yankees pitching has been pretty much great all year, at least the starting pitching. Frida's had his lumps maybe over the past month and change.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Devin Williams saga and whatever, and the bullpen, the new bullpen guys in Miami, their first game. But for the most part, the Yankees pitching has been good pretty much all season long. It's been the offense, and I think it's great that they, like you said, a get me right series, and it's impressive to watch. But again, if you don't homer or out extra base hit the team that they're playing, they don't stand a chance because they don't have competitive losses. I said, we said it Tuesday, we say it every week. I don't want to, nitpick. I don't want to be the negative Yankee fan, but I feel like at least some of us have to stay a little bit on earth with this because it's the Washington Nationals. I don't know anyone on the pitching staff. They had 77 pitches in the 3rd inning. And I don't know if you saw this. So Volpe got up twice in that 3rd inning. Mm-hmm. You know how many times he got out?
Twice. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But listen, Fried, another great outing from him. It's good to see him kind of settling back in. Bellinger's been great for the Yankees this year. Listen, it's a good series win, but I wasn't accepting anything less than a series win.
Yeah, and again, I know that we can sit here and say, "Oh, it's the Nationals," but it's much better to sit here and complain and say that they won against a bad team by hitting against the good teams. But imagine us sitting here if they lost 2 out of 3. Yeah. Then what? Because now they're totally unreal. The wheels are totally off the track. 100%. So it was a good get me right series. Everybody hit, and that's just such a good feeling. And look, the good times are probably going to keep rolling. You got Chicago for 4 games now. The White Sox, you're going there. Yankees do great when they go visit the South Side. Yeah. It's just going again. These are where the wins got to matter, and I know they have a tough time in September. Yeah. That's why you got to win so many now, because after that it's Houston, Toronto, Detroit, Boston. That is 4 series that are just going to be hell on earth for the Yankees. Yeah, but after that, you calm down. Minnesota, you kick their ass. Baltimore, you do very good in. And then it's the White Sox and Orioles. And I know that you're scared against division opponents, but the Yankees do good against the Orioles. Should realistically have no problems there. And the White Sox, if they give you troubles, then you will really have concerns. But the Yankees, it's like a sandwich right now. You got to stack up as many wins as you can right now so you can afford some losses. If you win, that's great because now you're probably talking about a division. And the end of the season is supposed to be you coast to the playoffs, get some confidence like our Breezes versus glorious batters the last week. Get the confidence up, and then get your ass kicked in the first round and lose. But it's how the schedule is. We can complain about the Yankees not beating good teams and and beating the bad teams. That's how it is. That's how the schedule's made up. You got to take those guys. You got to take those wins.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I was looking at the Yankee schedule. I looked at the Blue Jays schedule. So the Blue Jays, they play Milwaukee while the Yankees are playing the White Sox. You got to make up some ground there.
Yeah.
But they're not only chasing Toronto, they're chasing Boston. I know it's half a game, but Boston hosts Pittsburgh, which hopefully they see Skenes. They start tomorrow. So hopefully they see Skenes and don't sweep. If the Yankees, at the bare minimum, they got to take 3 out of 4. If they sweep, then again you're in talks for a division. I think they're kind of in a very similar situation as the Mets are. They're 4.5 back. The Mets are 4. It's a game a week at this point, and you play the 2 teams in front of you one more time apiece. So, this series coming up against Chicago has to, at minimum, be a 3 out of 4. Series win. I'd love a sweep. If you can sweep all 4 of these games, that's 7 wins in a row. Then you're playing Washington, you're playing the White Sox. They suck, but then you are rolling into these upcoming series against Houston, Toronto, Detroit, and Boston. And listen, my whole thing is they don't beat good teams. You have it doesn't matter. This is the time of year where you put up or shut up. Are you a playoff team? Yes or no? This is when you show it.
All right, let me ask you this. Say the Yankees have success against the White Sox, which I'm sure they will, and then you have 12 combined games with the Astros, Blue Jays, Tigers, Red Sox. You're in Houston, you're in Boston, you're home for Toronto and Detroit. What do the Yankees record, what does it have to be for you to have legitimate confidence in this team going to the playoffs out of those 12 games?
Well, in Houston's always tough. In Boston, always tough. Toronto has had our number. Hopefully Rodon doesn't pitch in that series because Toronto owns Rodon. I mean, if they go 6-6, I'm cool with that because you don't really lose any ground. I feel confident against Detroit. The Yankees are notorious for beating up on the AL Central. I think the Yankees can handle Detroit pretty well, and I know it's only the past 3 games, but they've kind of struggled against Oakland. Sacramento, excuse me. Detroit played the A's the past few days, and I don't think it went very well for them. But if they go 6-6 or better, then I buy back in. Then I'm invested again in this team. But if I don't see them even compete with Boston and Toronto and Detroit and Houston, of course, Houston has been the Yankees' daddy since 2017. We can't beat them. So if I think that series kind of sets a tone for the entire, that entire month, pretty much, if they can take 2 out of 3 in Houston, like they did open the season last year, then everyone's bought back in on the Yankees. Now everyone's like, oh my God, the Yankees are back. We're so ready to, to cover everything the Yankees do. It's so highly, covered it again. But if they lose in Houston, it's the same old thing. They can't beat good teams. They don't homer. They don't win, whatever. I ideally think if they go 6-6 or better, they can win the division. I think they would have enough steam built up to go handle Baltimore twice and the White Sox again.
I think 6-6 needs to be the floor. You can't do worse than 500.
Yeah.
Yes. At minimum, you got to split those.
Because then you're not gaining ground, but you're not losing ground. If they're not gaining, they have to stay where they are.
Yeah, at the very least. And the Yankees' best case scenario, obviously the division, but right now the most realistic best case scenario is you have the first wild card going to the playoffs. And that's, again, you got some telling series coming up. That Boston series, much like the Mets and Phillies, that's probably going to dictate where you end up. Mm-hmm. It's a big series. And look, I know the Yankees have trouble in Boston. But again, Jeremy, I'm preaching this to the choir till everyone's ears are going to fall off. It's that time of the year where it doesn't matter what the trends are. It doesn't matter how you do in one ballpark to the next. These are the wins you got to have. And if the
100%.
Yankees take care of the White Sox and you're riding a 7-game win streak, at least you have momentum going into these tough series. You go to Houston and then Toronto is in Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees do very bad against Toronto, and the Tigers, and that should be a very fun series. But it's just, these are the times of the bad teams you needed to snowball into success. And so, again, at least if you go 6-6, even if you go a little worse, you have the cushion of, well, at least we just rode a 7-game win streak.
Yeah. I mean, you absolutely have to win this series against the White Sox. Again, a sweep would be absolutely ideal. Then, like you said, 7-game win streak going into Houston, which would be massive for them. And then, like, again, they go 6-6 in that stretch against Toronto, Detroit, Boston, and Houston. And then you got to play Minnesota, who the Yankees absolutely beat up on every time I see them. You play Baltimore for 4. Who, again, the Orioles are not a good baseball team this year. And you play the White Sox for 3 and the Orioles for 3 more. Like, that stretch of 13 games, you have to win, like, 8 of those. Go 8-5 at the worst. And then, like, the way it's kind of, like, split into, like, 3 separate mini seasons in a way. Like, you have, the bad teams you got to go play in Washington and Chicago. Then you're right in the thick of it, what feels like, like a playoff run pretty much. With the 4 powerhouse teams in the American League, and then you go to Winnie Hood Juniors again, and you play Baltimore and Chicago. Like, it's all going to come down to what they do against Houston and Toronto. Because if they can't beat Houston and Toronto, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But still, you gotta feel like somewhat good. Okay.
I feel good to the point where it's like, okay, like, I know what they're capable of doing on offense, and I'm not expecting, a 9-run third inning every other day. I'm not, like, that's not what I'm expecting. But what I am expecting is good competitive at bats every trip up and down the lineup. Like, I don't want to see Volpe in a lineup ever, but I know that, it's Boone's guy, whatever. He's going to put him out there probably tonight. But, like, up and down the lineup, it's got to be competitive at bats. You have to work whoever's on the mound, make them throw. Like, every game from now on, whether you're playing the White Sox, you're playing the Red Sox, you're playing the Blue Jays, I don't care if you're playing the 1932 Yankees, if they resurrect from the dead. Every single game feels like the World Series at this point, in my opinion. Like, you have to take every game like it's the last of the season, and you're playing game 163 just to get in. If they want to make a deep playoff run, you have to do it starting today.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And talk about competitive at bats. A lot of guys are starting to do it. Ben Rice has had an outstanding August. Bellinger has been probably the most consistent hitter all year for the Yankees. Stanton is a man possessed. Obviously,
Yeah,
Judge is going to
I have no idea what's going on with Stanton. He's like a complete hitter. It's if and when the Yankees get into the postseason, you just don't pitch to Stanton. He may hit 1,000.
He might.
He might hit
1,000. This is better than playoff Stanton, what we're seeing right now. And a guy who just performs in October, he might have the best postseason ever. I'm going to put it down right now. The success of Giancarlo Stanton in this regular season, if that translates even a fraction into the playoffs, he's going to have the best postseason ever.
Yeah, the way he's been swinging the bat is absolutely insane. Like, he's an average guy. Like, he's a batting average guy now, while also hitting 430-foot homers. But again, like, they're gonna go as Judge goes. And I know he homered yesterday. If Judge can get hot and not necessarily get back to hitting 400, but I know he probably feels the pressure with the MVP race. And the whole thing with Judge is, some people say he's not clutch. I disagree. I think this is when Judge, puts the team on his back, really shows like, all right, listen, these are my guys. They're going to ride with me. And if Judge gets hot, this lineup's going to follow suit. Like you said, Rice has had a really good month. Bellinger's been, like you said, I pretty much agree. He's been the most consistent hitter for the Yankees all year. Jazz has been great for the Yankees. I love Ryan McMahon. He's been a great acquisition for them. Listen, if they could just follow suit and just play their part, it's like a dance. It's like a movie. Like, everyone has their role. If these guys can just play their role to the best of their ability, they will be successful. They can't all try to jack the ball over the short porch. Like, I don't need Austin Wells. If he's in the lineup, I don't need him doing that. Walk. Just don't swing. Just walk. Stick out your elbow. I'd rather him not swing than try to jack balls.
In a perfect world, he's not in the Yankees lineup
Yeah,
come
that's true too.
October.
Yeah, that's true. He sent him
Um,
and Volpe are sent down to Double A.
that'd be nice.
That'd
In
be
a
ideal.
perfect world. World
Yeah.
ain't perfect. Well, I'm sure we'll see them in postseason lineups. Okay, speaking of the mustached men, Trent Grisham. This guy, I feel like the Yankees not having a true leadoff hitter, it bothers me. I don't know if this comes from a guy who's seen Lindor now in the leadoff spot for basically a year, a little over now, but it really bothers me that the Yankees just don't have a consistent leadoff guy. And I thought Trent Grisham was really good in the leadoff spot. I thought he belonged there. But now I'm looking at his numbers batting one this year, and it's just not good. You know,
No.
he's batting 215, a 752 OPS. He gets on base. He can't hit the ball for crap. I don't know. Is there a guy in this Yankees lineup that you just can say will be your leadoff man for the entirety of the postseason, or is it going to be another revolving door?
I think it has to be a revolving door because Volpe failed at it. Like it was supposed to be Anthony Volpe. I think that was the plan last year. It was supposed to be Volpe. They really haven't had a leadoff hitter since like 2019 on LeMahieu. I know he had his injuries and whatever, maybe 2020, but they haven't had a leadoff hitter since he got hurt. And Volpe was supposed to be the guy. Obviously, couldn't do it. Like they tried out Rice, they tried out Wells, they tried out Goldschmidt. They don't have a leadoff guy. I think by default, Grisham's their best option. And if it's not him, it's probably Rice or Dominguez. But again, like Dominguez I feel like he's been so streaky all year. Like consistently, Grisham is either a walk, a homer, or a strikeout at a leadoff spot. Like you know what you're going to get with him. Do I love it? No, because I feel like a leadoff guy sets a tone, especially when you're on the road and a big series like Houston or in Boston. Like top one, first game of the series, I feel like that really sets the tone, at least for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And they haven't had a true leadoff guy since 2020. It's hard because like you said with Lindor or even another guy like I don't know, like a Lawrence Butler type of guy, or even like Kyle Schwarber. Like the Yankees don't have a guy like that. He's penciled into one. They don't have a leadoff guy, and it's hard to put into words the way it feels because like I don't remember what it's like to have one.
Yeah, I mean Brett Gardner was a stud with that.
Yeah,
And Gardner was awesome. I mean LeMahieu was awesome when he was first a Yankee.
Yeah, and then they re-signed him and he sucked and he got hurt.
And even you mentioned Schwarber, you don't even need a traditional leadoff hitter in that sense.
No,
Ohtani leads off for the Dodgers sometimes. You don't need that traditional guy anymore.
yeah.
And the Ben Rice sample size, and keep in mind here, we're comparing Ben Rice's 84 at-bats leadoff spot to Trent Grisham's 256. But Ben Rice has a 904 OPS. He's slugging 548. And he's batting 226, but, the home runs are there. He bats good in the leadoff spot.
I like Rice up there. I do.
I think Rice is probably the smartest guy to go, but then again, the conversation of, well, you got to lengthen out the lineup. Grisham's best spot in the lineup is batting 7th. And he hasn't done it a lot, but he has a 1250 OPS. He's only 28 at bats batting 7. But say it's Ben Rice at 1, Judge 2, you have Bellinger, Jazz, Stanton, and whatever order you want. It could be a very deep lineup.
Yeah.
A very, very deep lineup. But these guys have to hit, and so much of it is relying on Ben Rice and Trent Grisham to get going and Jazz Chisholm to hit a power surge because the Yankees, they have more than we think. Who you know what you're going to get out of. You're going to get MVP numbers out of Judge. Stanton is going to be great all season long since he's been healthy. Bellinger is going to be consistent. That's 3 guys already right there that what you're going to get out of them in a good sense. And then you have guys to bank on. Ben Rice, who's had an amazing August. Trent Grisham's had an amazing August. Now you're at 5 people who you really do think can catch fire together at the same time. That's more than half your lineup right there. You feel good about it. Jazz Chisholm, we just talked about him. And then what? You need 3 more spots. And a Jose Caballero to, please, for the love of God, be good.
Yeah, please.
It's Jason Dominguez. But these are such black holes in the lineup. But if they can just be at least somewhat consistent, somewhat hit for average, the Yankees, in my opinion, have enough at that top of the lineup and enough in the rotation where you can feel good about those bottom of the lineup guys struggling.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like they are a deep team, but it sucks when like they don't show it.
Yeah.
When they're behind in a game, they just try to homer their way back into it. Like they need to jump out to a lead and do it early, and then like you feel comfortable because again, the pitching has been shut down pretty much all year long. But you mentioned black holes in the lineup. I don't know if you saw Volpe's on base percentage in the last 11 games.
I don't know if I want to hear it.
27, like 0.027.
Wow.
That's insane.
Wow.
He's getting on base like twice in the last 11 games.
I mean, how do you
Think about that.
justify putting him in the lineup? I know
can't.
he's your guy. I know he is, but dude, what did you get Jose Caballero for? He's got to be your everyday shortstop,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Boone said he's like a 10th man, which, in my opinion, he should be the 9th man and play shortstop. You can bat him 9th. You're
God.
like, he physically cannot do any worse than Volpe is. There's no way he could be worse. So at the minimum, you're staying the same offensively. Oh, well, nothing changes there anyway, but I don't think Caballero can nearly be that bad. There's no way he could be that abysmal. Like I love Anthony Volpe. I'm a huge Volpe guy. I have been for the past 3 years, but you cannot justify playing him. There's got to come a point where it stops being, daddy ball and Boone stops coddling the kid. You got to come to a point like this is a business. People pay good money to go to these games, and like Caballero is a guy who's fighting. It feels like he's fighting for a roster spot at this point, which I know maybe, like, obviously he's not, but it feels like he's the odd man out when he clearly shouldn't be.
I mean, that's remarkable. And you're totally right.
On base percentage.
You're not going to do worse than that.
Not like 270, 27. There's no, I could do that. I could go up there and not swing and do that. Like
I could take 3 walks and get a hit by pitch in a week. And I feel like I'd be good. That's more.
Like you cannot, that's almost 2 weeks. That's not, a 3-game stretch. That is almost 2 weeks. And he's been, I mean, all year he's had the 3rd lowest on base percentage in all of baseball.
And you know what he's going to do? You know what Anthony Volpe is going to do? He's going to hit one more nice little power surge to end the season to get hopes up and for Aaron Boone to justify starting him. And then he's going to give you less than average defense. He's going to go back to not getting on base. And look, Jose Caballero, I can't believe we're talking about this guy so much this season. He shouldn't be. He should have been a 10th man. He should have been a utility guy. And if he gives you, well, he won't give you worse than a 27 on base percentage in 2 weeks, but he's going to give you stellar defense, something that Volpe cannot give you. And if he was hitting well and he was hitting with power, you could justify it. Maybe. I still don't think you could, but maybe you can. But he's not even coming close to that. That is remarkable. Wow. I can't believe that stat. I really cannot.
Insane. Like, he's going to hit one clutch homer in a wild card game, and then he's pens in the line for the next 3 years. So
that sounds about the Aaron Boone philosophy. We'll see what the Yankees do at the end of the year with Boone. I know he signed the contract for 2 or 3 years, but
yeah, I think he's through either 27 or 28. He signed through what? But like, nothing's gonna change if he goes. Nothing changes.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else on the Yankees here? I think we hit everything with the Yanks.
Yeah, just go sweep the White Sox and set yourself up for a chance to win the division. Because I'm not to sound like Aaron Boone, but it's right in front of them. It's literally right there for the taking. A game a week. Joe Girardi said it a couple weeks. I think it was last week. It was 4 games then. It's 4.5 now. Like, it's a game a week, and you play them for 3. Win that series, and you have a shot. And you play Boston too. Win those 2 series, you probably win the division.
All right, let me ask you: percentage chance Yankees catch Toronto. We did the same thing with the Mets and Phils.
17%.
17. So you gave the Mets a 40% chance to catch the Phillies and the Yankees a 17% chance to catch the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I said, listen, I'm out on the Yankees until they show me they can beat a good team.
That is spoken like a true Yankees fan. That is really spoken like a true Yankees fan. Okay.
It's better than me saying 97 and being like the delusional people on Twitter and TikTok talking about how good they are.
There's fans. I hate the fans like that. And, there's some guys some media personalities, I won't say any names, but there's some media personalities where they're talking about their team and they just need to bring up the opposing New York team and it annoys the crap out of me.
They're not even in the same league.
It
I
annoys
think
the crap out of me.
now I'm gonna go on a rant because I think the Subway Series is the dumbest thing in all sports.
No.
I think it is so stupid. It's meaningless. I think in baseball you should just play your own league. You play the National League and the World Series. That's it. I think it is so stupid. The games that matter, the games in your division, the games that you like against. Like I don't care about Yankees against the Rockies. I don't care about Yankees against the D-backs. I don't care about Yankees Braves. The series mean nothing.
I agree with you a little bit. The Subway Series is awesome. I'm not gonna take any Subway
cool,
Series,
but it's meaningless.
For the standings, yes, it's meaningless, but it means a lot. Like if they could get it right, they're playing on the anniversary of 9/11 next year.
No,
They
that's
should
cool.
do that
Don't get me wrong.
year. They did that in 2021 or 21. They did that. They should do that every year.
It's
They put
cool.
on
I
20th
agree.
anniversary. And look, does it mean anything for the standings? No. Am I going to look back if the Mets miss the playoffs by a game and say, "Oh, I wish we beat the Yankees in Game 3 of our series in July"? No. But it's fun. It's a good rivalry. It's exciting, and you don't get that a lot in sports. You know, when the Giants play the Jets 1 every 4 years, which should be a big deal because they don't play a lot, we don't care. You're a Jets fan, I'm a Giants fan. I don't care. It's another game. Rangers and Islanders, that's exciting. They're in the same division. Nobody gives two craps about the Nets and the Knicks when they play each other.
The Nets aren't even an NBA team. That's
dynamic.
Yeah.
But with the Mets and Yankees and two teams that really mean nothing to each other when the standings are all said and done, it is so cool, and it's a big deal with the history of baseball. I think it's a big deal. I think you're wrong.
I don't know. I feel like it's such a lose-lose situation, at least like in years past. Like the Mets are good now. The Mets haven't been good since we've been alive. So like, for the Yankees, it's like if you beat the Mets, cool. If you lose to the Mets, like dude, you lost to the Mets. I don't know. At least like this year was different. The past couple years have been different with the Mets because they're good. But like growing up, Yankees lose to the Mets. It's like you can't go to school the next day because like you just lost to the Mets. But I don't know. I agree. I don't like when we got completely off what you said, but I don't like when Yankee fans talk about the Yankees and then throw shade at the Mets or vice versa. Like dude, we're talking about like Ben Rice and how he is good at taking walks here, and you're bringing up Juan Soto and how he struck out in the third inning.
It's not correlated. It's annoying.
No, it's dumb. I feel like those type of fans are just trying to like bring a rivalry that only matters, 6 games a year. Like, yes, the Yankees and Mets is cool. But, like, don't talk to me about Pete Alonso and his homer last night and then bring up, oh, well, Judge struck out 3 times. That's great. They're playing on different sides of the country. I don't care.
No, it's really, really stupid. And I do agree with you going back to I don't like all the interleague play. I like it a little bit. I like, a few series a year where the National League and American League meet because then it gives, again, it's more exciting to watch that when you don't play it a lot. But I do understand 162-game season. You have 14 other teams to play in your league. It gets tiring. I know it does. I don't mind the NLAL play. Yeah. I think it makes the series against your division more important because you don't get as many. But as long as they don't do the stupid reconstruction of the division, as long as they stay away from that, I'm happy.
That division will be hell. Yankees, Mets, Phillies, Red Sox.
And then they throw like the Pirates in there, I guess. You gotta if you have one more.
I think they'd expand. They'd bring in like 2 expansion teams or something. And it'd be like 4 team divisions in each league.
I think it's terrible. I think that is terrible.
That'd be so stupid. But like
no reason.
I don't think you need to play every team. Like there's no reason the Mets need to go out east, go out west and play the Angels. That means nothing.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do an interleague series, at least make it like, okay, Mets, Blue Jays. Okay, cool. Like both teams in the East. Sure, you can justify that. Okay. Yankees, Rockies, dumb. Rockies, Blue Jays, dumb.
Yeah, I know. And maybe it's something like what the NFL does, where you play I'm going to use the Giants as an example.
Yeah.
The Giants play 1 year it's the AFC East, 1 year it's the North, South, West. You cycle like the Mets would play.
I like that.
Okay,
yeah.
I like that.
I can do that, but like I don't need to see the Yankees play the Reds. I don't care.
Better beat the Reds if you play them. I'll tell you that
Well,
much right now. I need
I
Reds
think
losses.
they lost a couple games in that series, I think.
All right, let's jump back on topic here. Let's get to some league-wide news now. We don't have a lot. Shohei Ohtani, I've been bashing him all year on the mound, and he strikes out 9 in 5 innings pitched against the Reds. Absolutely massive for the Mets, but bigger for the Dodgers. If you get Ohtani going, that is a scary guy in your lineup. That is a scary guy on the mound. We know the pitching staff isn't all that great. A lot of injuries in the rotation, but you got Snell back. Yamamoto's been great all year. And if Ohtani can carry this wave of momentum, that's 3 pitchers all of a sudden that you've got the utmost confidence in to go out and win you a series in October.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on Tuesday. Like, they're still a team to beat. Ohtani gets hot on the mound. You know what he can do with his bat. So, in a playoff series, you need 3 pitchers. That's really all I think you need, at least starting-wise. If Ohtani can stay healthy and he can be a guy for them on the mound starting a big postseason game, yeah, they're automatically the top dog again. Like, I'd rather have Ohtani than have – I don't know. I forgot the rotation. I don't know. I'd rather have Ohtani than anybody else. That's what I want. I'd rather have him than Kershaw.
Yeah, so would I. Kershaw's actually a nice little bounce back year.
Yeah, but not until wait till the playoffs come around. Kersh will come.
The Kershaw Crouch will return.
Yeah, I mean that's why they won the World Series last year because Kershaw wasn't pitching.
There you go. Got his ring.
If he pitched, they don't get there. It's probably Yankees, Mets.
Oh my God, I wish
New York would burn down.
By the way, speaking of Ohtani on the topic, nobody has talked about the NL MVP race. Is it like just Ohtani?
I don't even know. Like, I guess Schwarber's second. I don't even know.
I guess it's Schwarber. I don't know.
There's like no one else. I don't think you can even close to be, justifying to give it to.
Oh my God! When is the last time they updated this? 2 days ago. What is? I'm gonna make you guess. Shohei Ohtani's odds to win the National League MVP. I don't know. I just looked on ESPN. I don't know what betting account this is, but this is nuts.
I'm gonna say like minus 3,500.
Minus 5,000.
Yeah. So
Schwarber's at plus 900, and then next is Manny Machado.
Wow, that's not a name I would expect to be up there. He's
that
good. That
is a thin MVP race.
Yeah, there's no race. It's the race to second, I guess. What are Machado's odds?
I don't know. It says 100 to 1. I don't know what that comes out to. Is that like plus 1,000?
I think so. You put down $1, you get 100. Yeah, I think it's plus 1,000. Maybe plus 10,000. Probably plus 1,000.
Then PCA is 1 to 150.
You never know. Tiny could get hurt tomorrow.
There you go. It's gonna be big last month of the season. Cal Raleigh right now minus 120. Judge minus 105. If Judge doesn't win the MVP,
I'd be shocked.
That is a crime.
I would be so shocked.
That's a crime.
Unless Raleigh breaks the record. Unless he breaks the home run record. That's the only thing
I can justify.
Like, Judge has a better average and he has a higher OPS. What does the league value more? Because Judge has 42 homers. He's got 8 less homers.
Yeah,
he's got a homer.
And he missed Chicago. He missed time.
Judge is. I think he'll leave Chicago with at least 2 more homers under his belt.
Yeah,
like I don't see it as that close. There's no way unless Cal Raleigh breaks the home run record that he deserves MVP. And you call me Yankee Homer, whatever you want. I don't see it.
That's not a biased Yankee take though. That's just like a baseball fan take.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like the fact that it's even a conversation is kind of dumb in my opinion.
But you know what, though? These writers, they're going to value that he's doing it at the catcher position, and that's going to take so much. Switch hitting catcher. Buster Posey, last catcher to win was Posey, I think, in 2014, 2015. Mm-hmm. And his numbers, I just saw a video on this the other day. His numbers were, like, not better than the guy he beat out. I got to look at this. I'm going to try and find it right now. But it was the fact they did at the catching position.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know if that's a fair way to look at it. Like, Judge doesn't pick what position he plays.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, they don't take the defense into it, do they? I doubt it.
I mean, with how Raleigh's been, maybe they do. I really don't
defensively.
Know. He's pretty solid. He's pretty solid defensively.
I don't know. I think that it's Judge's race to lose, but like, if Raleigh breaks the record, sure, give it to him. But it's not like Judge is that far off with anything. He's beating him in a couple stats, so I don't get it.
I don't know. Why is he being judged? RBIs and
That's it.
homers, and that's it?
Judge has him in everything else, I think.
Here we go. Buster Posey beat out Ryan Braun in 2012.
Wow, that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
That's what it is. But if you look at some of these numbers, Posey had the better WAR easily. He had a 7.6. Braun was at 6.9. Better batting average. But Braun killed him in OPS. Not killed him. He had him in OPS. And I get it. He had him in runs, had him in home runs by a mile. Braun had 41. Posey had 24. Had him in RBIs. Is just the fact that Posey was at the catching position. It means so much to be a catcher. You could put up not average numbers. You can put up good numbers and beat out a guy with great numbers because you're at the catching position. That's just how they value it.
I'm getting a call from Hofstra University.
Oh my! You want to come over? Want to take a semester with us?
Might have to. Let's see what they say.
We're the boys. We love it. Just rebranded too. Outstanding rebrand.
Hey, is this Jeremy?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Jeremy. This is Ryan calling from Hofstra's Office of Graduate Admission. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I see that you recently started an application with us for physical education. I just wanted to follow up with you and see if you had any questions or anything, that I could help out with.
No, I don't have any questions. I was just kind of surveying my options. I just graduated from Utica, so
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was, kind of just weighing my options whether I wanted to go either back to school or just try to find a job in, in the CMM field. So I was just kind of throwing things at the wall and hoping it would stick.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the semester classes start September 2nd, so next Tuesday. It is a little tough if you wanted to, complete your application. But, if that's something that if you are interested in starting this fall, we could make it work. But we are also, just want to let you know, we are accepting applications for our winter session, our spring semester 2026, and then also next fall as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day, Jeremy.
You too.
Bye.
That's not the call I thought I was going to get.
Welcome to the pride, baby. Welcome home.
Yeah, I was thinking about going back to school and getting like a teaching degree. That's not going to happen.
Oh, that'd be sick, a teaching degree.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be like a gym and health teacher. But like, I don't want to go back to school. So
I'm taking a yoga class this semester.
That sounds cool. Yoga's cool. Yoga's a good time.
Well, because I'm a terrible student. And I put myself in a position where I need 17 credits to graduate. And I'm using the Sharks thing as an internship. And I need a 2-credit class. And the only one that schedule is yoga at 9:40 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm going to be the only guy, dude. That's going to be miserable.
Yeah, listen, yoga's cool, though.
Yeah, maybe I'll become some, like, Zen monk Buddhist after I don't know.
You might have to.
All right, more league-wide news. To hell with talking about freaking what and what. Okay. AL Cy Young race. It's SKUBAL's award to lose, but I think Garrett Crochet's numbers are worth the conversation. Like, if Crochet has a couple of good starts and SKUBAL kind of teeters a little bit, he could be right back into the conversation.
Well, Crochet's got to start against the Yankees coming up, I'm sure. So he's going to have one good start there. I think, again, like you said, it's SKUBAL's award to lose. I don't think that voter fatigue really plays in this case very much. I think, SKUBAL has been, the best pitcher, not only in the American League, but the best pitcher in all of baseball this year.
Yeah.
And I think, it's definitely a conversation because, again, Crochet's been good. 2.38 ERA, whip just over 1. I don't know how much you care about record, but he's 14-5, a 5.4
I don't care a damn about record.
Yeah. 207 strikeouts. Hey, it's a good year, but I think the league just loves SKUBAL. And even if it was that tight, I think he gets it by default. I mean, SKUBAL's 11-4. Again, record doesn't matter. 5.8 WAR, 2.28 ERA, whip at 0.87, and then 212 strikeouts. So he's got them everywhere. But it's definitely a conversation. It's not it's not like there's no chance. God forbid SKUBAL gets shot in the arm tomorrow. Then it's Crochet's award.
The whip is incredible. 0.87, that's incredible. If that was close to 1, like Crochet's at 106, Crochet's only 5 strikeouts behind SKUBAL for the MLB lead. And the ERA is separated by, what is that, a 10th? 28 and 38? Is that how it works? Not a math guy. I think it's by a tenth. Well, let's assume it's by a tenth. Like, a few bad starts for SKUBAL and a few really good starts for Crochet, and Crochet's right back in that Cy Young conversation. Not that he's not already.
Yeah, he's
And
definitely the second guy.
100%. And if he was
the
in,
second guy.
I was gonna say he's in the National League, but Skenes is killing. That's where I want to go next.
Yeah.
This is the money question because looking at these guys' stats, I'm gonna take age out of it because Paul Skenes is 23, Tariq SKUBAL's 28. I'm taking age out of it. Just looking at their numbers this year, who would you want to start a franchise with? If you can only pick one of those guys, gun to your head.
I mean, can you really go wrong with either of them? Right? I don't know. It's tough because like there are so many good righties in the league, and I feel like SKUBAL's like the only really like dominant lefty. Again, Crochet's right behind them, but I think I just default towards Skenes because I think like he throws harder, and like his ERA is lower, like it's 0.2 lower than SKUBAL's, but I think I would just lean Skenes because of one, I've watched him more. Part of that is because I bet on him a lot, but I watch Skenes more, and I think I don't want to say he has better stuff, but like I think I trust Skenes more in a sense of like being the guy to build around.
All right, I'm gonna ask you another question because I think I'd go Skenes too. If you only had one Cy Young to give out, is it SKUBAL or Skenes this year? This is a much more interesting conversation.
That's a tough question because the Pirates, regardless, still suck.
They do.
Yeah, that is tough. I think I would give it to SKUBAL.
Really?
I think like Skenes has a better WAR, and his WHIP is still under 1, but SKUBAL is underneath Skenes, right? And he has like 30 or 40 more strikeouts. I think this year it would be SKUBAL's award if it was just one league-wide award.
And he's got the walks down too.
Yeah.
He's only has 25 walks. That's the least by far amongst anybody in the Cy Young conversations for the National and American League. Skenes at 37. I mean, I don't know, though. These numbers are incredible. Skenes has, 4 less innings pitched, and a race this close, that means a lot. I know you're looking at the WHIP, and I'm looking at the WHIP too, but I think the ERA is what gets it for me. A 2.07 ERA is incredible.
That's insane.
And Skenes hasn't had that. Maybe he's had one blow-up start. I feel like SKUBAL's got hit around a couple of times.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like Skenes never had that start where the wheels totally came off. Maybe once or twice. I'd really have to go look at his game logs. Maybe I'll do that right now. Because that'll probably be it.
When Skenes gets into trouble, it's because he walks guys. He doesn't give up, he'll give up an occasional single or a home run, but he gets into trouble because he walks people.
Yeah.
Which most guys do, because that's what, not good when you walk guys.
Let's see. He gave up 5 earned runs on April 8th against St. Louis. After that, he gave up 4 June 25th against the Brewers. I remember that series. 4 against
up on him.
Oh, the Rockies got to him start of August. 4 runs. I gotta look at SKUBAL.
Yeah, they did.
Hold on here. Now I might be changing my mind. You can't let. I love the Rockies. Can't let them nab 4 off you.
I mean, he's had a couple bad ones, but a lot of them, 7 innings scoreless. But the thing with Skenes too, it doesn't give you as much length as SKUBAL.
SKUBAL, yeah.
Skenes only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starts where he's into or past the 7th inning. Or maybe that's. I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go Skenes. If I can only give out one Cy Young award, I would give it to Paul Skenes.
I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with either side there.
No, you definitely cannot. I mean, just premier pitchers, both of them. It's not even
the
gap between them and maybe Crochet
is
and
huge.
Zach Wheeler. But Wheeler with the blood clot, we're gonna have to see what happens with him.
Yeah,
it's a huge gap after those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Sanchez is probably going to finish second in NL Cy Young voting. He doesn't even hold a candle to any of those guys. And he's been phenomenal too.
He's not allowed at the same table. He's at the kids' table.
At the kids' table, and he's incredible. And Christopher
Literally.
Sanchez is a premier pitcher in the Major League Baseball, but he doesn't hold a candle to these guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the drop off from the top talent is crazy.
It really is. It is nuts. Okay. Let's do some NFL news. Then we'll get our playoffs if they make it or not for non-playoff teams. Then we'll get out of here. Really quick. I think it was pretty cool. The rivalry jerseys came out. I like them.
Me
I don't
too.
know if you saw the Jets ones.
I like it. It's
I like
different.
a lot of them.
It's different. I think the Bills one is the best. I mean, I didn't look at all of them.
You're a fan? Okay. I don't know if I liked it or not. I like the all white, but I don't know how it's going to look on a field. I don't know.
Well, I'm assuming I think they're doing it in October, so I don't know if it's going to be the same effect that I envisioned, but I was assuming they would have it and maybe snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes sense for Buffalo. I like the Jets one. I do. It's different. And I know on Twitter, I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is ugly, whatever. I think the new logo is cool. I like how it literally looks like a jet. In the past, it was just a football with the word Jets on it. I like the logo. I think it's cool. The Dolphins one's pretty cool. I like the Niners one, but I cannot wait to order my name to be named later New York Jets rivalry edition jersey off DHgate. I'm so excited.
I'll tell you which ones I love. I think the Patriots have the best ones. It gives off if I know your college football, it gives off like a Navy Army type jersey.
Let me see. I didn't look at all of them. So let me see.
It looks so college, and I love college jersey makeups. I think the Patriots have the best ones. The Jets, and I'm looking at the Jets. They kind of like a crap green. I don't know if I love them as much.
Yeah, it's like a camp. The whole thing's like Gotham City, but they play in New Jersey. I don't get the whole Gotham City Football Club thing, but I like the jersey. I think it's much different than things we've seen before.
Yeah.
The Niners one's cool. I love gold, but I agree. The Patriots one, I'm going to the game, Jets Pats week 14. So I'm gonna see what those jerseys live in action on how they look on a field and everything.
I think they absolutely nailed the Patriots one.
Yeah. I like the Buffalo one. It's a bit, it looks like snow. Rams one's cool. I think the Dolphins one's pretty tough too.
I just love a lot of these teams went with the darker jersey. A lot of them, besides Buffalo and Arizona's, I think is going to look better on field. I would never buy one of those jerseys, but I think it's going to look good in game because that's a pretty disgusting jersey looking at right now. But I can see it looking good.
The uniform look good because you can't wear that out, like going to the grocery store or something.
No,
you cannot wear that out. It looks like the Grand Canyon, like a desert.
Is that what they were going for?
I think so.
I don't know. I think the Rams one is cool. I like that. We never really see a
lot of them are dark
Rams jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. I like what you said. The Patriot one does kind of look like a college jersey. I like the patch on the side, the NE. It's cool.
Oh, it's huge. I love the big patches like that.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for patches. I think the Jet one's cool. It's different.
Definitely is.
I'm assuming I don't remember what pants what color pants they wore in the video. Let me see.
It was all dark. I think it was the green.
It's gonna be the same color green. I think it's gonna look cool. And it's kind of like the same green they wore when they had the old Jet uniforms. It's kind of like that.
Uniforms. I love them. Those are my favorite Jets unis.
Really? The old green ones?
I loved them. They're just nostalgic to me. I loved them.
I got to figure out what player I'm getting on my jersey. Maybe Jermaine Johnson. Because I have Breece, Braylon, Justin Fields, and Garrett. I don't want to get the same guy.
Right. They don't have Sauce yet.
Let's get Sauce, I guess.
Surprising.
I have. And it's the old black one. I don't wear the old one. No.
Yeah, those are pretty bad. Those are cartoon jerseys. I never liked them.
I guess I gotta get Sauce. I'll get two because everyone's gonna have a Sauce Gardner rivalry jersey.
100%.
I like being the guy that has the niche jerseys.
Yeah, Braylon Allen, that's a good one. He'll be running back one when Breece Hall gets paid somewhere else.
Season, so.
All right, rapid fire here. Malik NABERS downplays back injury. He's dealing with a toe shoulder back now. He sat out the last two preseason games. He'll be ready for week 1. Concern level on 1 to 10 for NABERS.
If he said he's ready for week 1, I don't have much concern. They're probably a 2.
Yeah, I'll give him a 3 or 4. I think that, a back injury is never fun to hear about, especially keeping him out. But I'm sure they were just being cautious. Last thing you want to do is wreck this guy's back in the preseason.
Yeah. The thing with the NFL, I feel like most teams, it's much different than the NHL. And when there's injury news, what's wrong right away. If they're telling you, they'll be ready by week 1, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he'll be good. Rashee Rice, we thought he was going to play the first 4 games, get suspended for 6 or 8 in the middle of the season. They made the right decision. He's suspended for the first 6 games of the year. Does this impact the Chiefs at all? It's gonna lose them some games.
Probably not, because I mean, they got Mahomes, and as long as they have Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be okay. Listen, I think it's better for Rice as well, because I mean, I don't remember their schedule off the top of my head, but I'm looking at it now. I think someone said like their bye is, where is their bye? Let's see. Okay, it's not really showing me what I wanted to. Oh, so I think he comes back like 1, 2, 3, 4. No. What am I looking at wrong here?
What are you looking for?
I see it. Okay, the way I was on Google was weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He would come back against the Raiders. I think this is better for him because like this is exactly when the Chiefs start to heat up towards the middle part of the season. So, and like he'll probably have 3 touchdowns against the Raiders. They're not very good.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Rashee Rice, I mean, brutal. Don't be an idiot. The bad scenario they suspended. Okay. Let's get to our playoffs or not, and then we are out of here. We have a lot of good ones because a lot of teams were so good last year that missed the playoffs, and I couldn't believe it. First one on the list, playoffs or not, Bengals. They were the first team out of the AFC last year. They were 9-8. Again, they got off to another terrible start to begin the season. What do you think?
Well, right off the bat, they're not going to win the division, right? So I think automatically they're beneath the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bills. So you're going to have to beat out teams like the Chargers, the Raiders, the Broncos, and one of the Texans and or the Jaguars, right? I think they're better than the rest of those teams. So I think the Bengals will get in, and I think this is I think they can make a deep playoff run. I think you have Joe Burrow, you have Jamar Chase. Obviously, the offense is so high, so strong. You have arguably the best receiver in the NFL and arguably a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Listen, the window is only getting smaller for Chase and Jamar. So I think they're gonna make the playoffs for sure. Why am I frozen? Oh, maybe not anymore.
Did you say Chase and Jamar?
Did I? I don't know. I was looking at myself frozen. I kind of lost my train of thought, but I think they're gonna make the playoffs.
I think they're gonna make the playoffs. Look, the Steelers were 10-7 last season. You cannot let the Steelers finish above you in the division again. That just can't happen.
It also doesn't help when you lose to the Patriots in week 1 and then you can't win a division game.
Yeah, you need. I
mean,
but
you put up 25+ points on the Commanders and you still lose the game.
The Bengals were the biggest advocate for sitting their starters in the preseason, and it showed how slow they came out those first 3 weeks of the year. That they're notorious for it now. Yeah. And they played them in the preseason, at least the beginning of it, and they were insane. Look, they have the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Chase Brown could be a top 5 running back. T. Higgins could be a top 10 wide receiver if he's healthy. Jamar Chase, like you said, probably the best wide receiver in the league. Joe Burrow can be a top 3 guy if he has a really good season. You have the best offense in the league. And I know the defense is terrible, but Trey Hendrickson, getting him back for at least 1 more year is huge. If you have a good season with him and you extend him, you got to worry about that secondary, which is awful, god-awful.
So bad.
But look, you can outscore basically everybody in the NFL, maybe outside of the Bills, Chiefs, Ravens. You can outscore these guys. I don't know. I think the Bengals make it. I think they make it. I just can't see a world where they lose out to the Steelers again.
Okay. I'd be shocked, right? The offense is just too good.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Next team on the list is the Cowboys.
They're an interesting situation. They're a really interesting conversation because you don't know what's going on with Micah Parsons. Obviously, he's still on the roster, but I don't think he's been practicing at all. I think they have a pretty easy schedule. I actually took their win total. I got it. It's at 7.5. So I have their over on the win total. And I think they could be like a 10-win team. I don't know if that's crazy or not, but I think they're going to sweep the Giants. I think they're going to sweep. They're going to split with the Commanders, and they're going to get swept by the Eagles. Right? I think that's fair. I think they could potentially even sweep Washington. I don't think the Commanders are that good. Right? So I think the Cowboys are going to finish second in the NFC East. And You play the Jets. You play the Panthers. You play the Cardinals. You play the Raiders. Like, you play the Chargers. This schedule isn't that tough, right? So I think the Cowboys can potentially sneak into a wild card spot. I think they're going to be like a 10-win team.
I agree with you. The absence of Dak Prescott last year,
huge.
I know we don't talk about Prescott like this top guy. He's a good quarterback.
I don't understand the hate for Dak Prescott. I think he's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback. When he's healthy, he's a good quarterback. CeeDee Lamb, he has the potential, the ceiling to be the best wide receiver in the league. Will he? Probably not with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson running around, but CeeDee Lamb is an outstanding wide receiver. Dak Prescott is a really, really, really good quarterback. And before we got hurt, he was putting up good numbers. He lost steam the year before that, but that first half of the year, he was putting up MVP numbers.
Yeah, he was in the race big time.
Put in the big time. I know the running back situation is going to be interesting to figure that out. I'm not concerned. George Pickens is going to thrive in that offense.
Yeah, I forgot to have
concerned. I'm not concerned about this offense. I'm concerned about the defense.
I honestly think like Jaden Blue will be their running back one by like week 6, and he's a stud.
Yeah,
he's really, really good. He reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs. Is he as talented? I don't think so. I don't think you can compare them. But he's a smaller dude and he's fast as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So, like again, you have Dak Prescott, who was an MVP candidate a couple years ago, and he gets so much hate for no reason. Granted, they got blown out by the Packers a couple years ago in the playoffs. He is at least bare minimum a very good regular season quarterback, and good quarterbacks in the regular season, they make the playoffs. They're going to be a 10+ win team. They're going to finish second in the division, and I honestly think they can make some noise in the playoffs.
I think they can too. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. There'll be a fringe team.
Yeah,
but I really do think they can get in. I wholeheartedly believe in this Cowboys offense. I really do.
There's going to be games where I think like they play Green Bay at home. I think they can beat the Packers. I really do. I'm not sold on Jordan Love. Like, I don't think the Chargers are very good. I think they're going to beat up on the Chargers. I think they're going to sweep Washington. I'm not sold on that Commanders defense at all.
Yeah, I'm not sold on them either. I do think, if you remember last year, this is so forgotten about, Brian Schottenheimer won that head coaching role. And I don't think he's a good head coach. Better than what you had with McCarthy, but still. The coaching situation might be a problem. Jerry's world is always a problem. Micah Parsons not starting week 1 potentially is a problem. But again, it's like a Bengals situation. I feel like this offense with Dak Prescott fully healthy is going to be way too good where where counting him out of games is unfair.
Let me get my notebook. Because now so we're going to keep going, right? So I'm going to start writing my divisions and everything down, right?
All right. So we talked about the Bengals and the Cowboys so far.
Yeah.
Anything to repeat here?
No, I'm good. So I'm just going to go my division winners on the NFC and the AFC side. Eagles, Niners.
Well, the Niners.
Who else is in the NFC?
The North, Packers, Lions, Vikings, all those guys.
Okay, and the South. Okay, that's easy. And then Bills, Chiefs, Ravens. Okay. All right.
AFC South feels like a toss-up, dude.
That's a huge division. I love a team in that division to win the whole thing. Is there 2 wild cards in the NFL? Right?
2. Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah, there's 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next team on the list. This is a big one, and I think it's bigger than people think. The Falcons.
Yeah, they're that's a tough team to read. Like, I love Michael Penix. I love Drake London. I really like that offense. I think Bijan's a stud. I like Tyler Algier as a running back too as well. But I don't know if they have, necessarily what it takes to be a wild card team. I think in order for them to make the playoffs, they'd have to win the division. Because I would think at least 2 teams out of the North make it, out of the NFC North. I would think, and by what I just said with the Cowboys, 2 teams out of the NFC East are going to make it. So that's already 4, right? And then the team from the West. And what's that, 5? And I think, 6 teams make it? So I think it's going to be between them either winning the division or having to squeak into a wild card spot and beating out whoever finishes either second in the West or second in the North. I'm going to say they don't make it, though.
Falcons don't make it. And they're going to have an awesome offense.
Yeah.
You know, Bijan, Drake London, our man Kyle Pitts.
He's breaking out this week.
This is breakout year. They're going to have an awesome offense. You know why they're not going to make it, Jeremy?
Defense.
Michael Penix is not good.
You don't think
understand.
So?
I don't get how people are high on this guy.
I like him.
I saw nothing. Nothing.
Really?
Maybe the last game of the season where he balled out against the Panthers and they lost because it was a 40-30, something like that. Crazy game. I've seen nothing out of Michael Penix.
Really?
Where I have the absolute utmost confidence in him. He's somebody who can't throw to the right side of the field. He can't hit you over the middle. He's going to hit you on the sidelines to his left, his throwing side. I just don't know if I trust this guy at the helm for a full season. I think he caught lightning in a bottle when Kirk Cousins just wasn't performing well and he had to bring him in. But I think if you take away that stigma that he's the rookie that came in to save the Falcons season from Kirk Cousins, if you really just sit there and analyze his game and really look at his numbers, and you have to take that for 17 games this year, I just don't think he's good enough to even come close to the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons are 3 or 4 games under 500. I wouldn't.
Really?
I have no confidence in Michael Penix whatsoever.
I'm on the opposite side of the coin. I think Penix is a stud. I like him a lot. I actually bet him his touchdown over 8, but it's 18.5. You're telling me the guy's not throwing 19 touchdowns? Like, I think the offense is going to be good.
With how many interceptions? I think it's going to turn the ball over so much.
Just throw 19 plus touchdowns and we win money. That's fine.
I can't sit here.
I like him. I don't know. I liked him at Washington.
I'm in on Michael Penix.
He was a guy who was in, a national championship, and I think he was really, really good last year. And, in a small sample size, but like the game against Washington, I thought he played really, really well. And I think you're going to see that more than not with him. But I don't think it's going to be enough to get them in the playoffs unless they win the division. But it's all going to fall on him. I think he's the question mark. I think that's fair to say.
I mean, he totally balled out the last game of the season against the Panthers. They lost 44-38, but he balled out 2 touchdowns and interception. I mean, he threw an interception in all 3 of his appearances. He had 3 starts. The Giants week 16, Manders were 17. He had a good start there. But, the 2 touchdowns against Carolina last game of the season. I just don't know if I can sit here and tell you, I have confidence in this guy not turn the ball over. I think he's going to be a turnover machine. He fumbled twice against the Commanders. I mean, they got the ball back both times, but I just don't know if I have enough on him where I can sit here and say I think he's going to have a really, really, really good sophomore season. If you even want to call it that, because he only started 3 games last year.
I don't know. I think he's got a good mentor in Kirk Cousins in his shoulder. I think having Kirk, if Penix is the starter the whole season, granted, I think the offense is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be enough to get him in the playoffs, but if he has Kirk Cousins and, behind him the whole season long and has Kirk coaching him up and really showing him the ropes, I think that'll help him. Yes, I know Kirk has had his turnover problems too, but Kirk Cousins has obviously not last year, but years prior, he's been a very good quarterback in the NFL.
No, he has.
I think having that for Michael Penix could really help him in the long run.
All right, next team here, the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm not a Sam Darnold guy. I don't think they make it. I just don't like Sam Darnold. I haven't liked him when he was with the Jets. I didn't like him when he was with San Fran. I thought, anyone with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson and that offensive line can be at least half decent in Minnesota. And you go over to Seattle where, again, your number one option is JSN, who's very good. JSN is a very good wide receiver, but I don't think Sam Darnold is nearly good enough to lead a team to the playoffs.
I mean, the Seahawks, they were 10-7. They just lost out to the division on the Rams, who were also 10-7. They were 7-1 on the road last year. They sucked at home. They were 3-7.
Really?
7-1 on the road. That is the total opposite of what they usually do.
Yeah, I think that's more Geno Smith than anything, though.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I like Geno.
So do I. I love Geno. I think he's going to do great with the Raiders with Pete Carroll again.
Yeah, I think Geno's better than Darnold, and they didn't make it last year with Geno. So I just don't see an upgrade there.
No, neither do I.
With Darnold. If I'm wrong, cool, whatever. But I don't see the Seahawks making it.
They got a decent defense. You got to trust in Kenneth Walker to stay healthy, even though he's running behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league.
Yeah.
JSN had a breakout season last year. I expect him to be another elite wide receiver one in Seattle. And I mean, look, Cooper Kupp, I think, is a really good addition. I don't know why people aren't high on Cooper Kupp. I know the injury prone stuff, but people forgot really fast that he was just one of the best receivers year in and year out with the Rams. I don't know. I know the injuries happened. I know he's really lost steam, and I think his yards run per route is one of the worst in the league. But I don't know. I think he's a good, solid wide receiver too behind JSN.
Yeah. No, he's like, it's a good move for him, but I can't get behind a team that has Sam Darnold. I can't do it.
All right, here we go. We have 2 teams left. I had the Niners on here. We talked about the Niners last week, and we both think they're going to win the division, so I don't even think they're worth the conversation. Next team here, I don't think so, but it's an interesting, the Dolphins.
I think they're not going to come close to the playoffs. I think they're actually going to be the worst team in the AFC East.
Wow.
I think they're going to be abysmal this year. The whole Tyreek Hill saga with him, I think he's got his wrist surgery. He's paying this girl, I think it's his wife or ex-wife, whatever, paying her like $50,000 a month. I think there's just too many like off the field distractions for him. And I think the way you feel about Penix is the way I feel about Tua. I don't think you can be competitive with him as your quarterback. I think the one bright spot for him will be Jalen Waddle. I think he's going to have a good year. But I think the Dolphins are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL this year.
I mean, so much is wrong with the Dolphins. You lost Jonnu Smith, which is quietly like a big loss at the tight end position. Yeah, and no one has really talked about it. Devon Achane has to miss the first 3 weeks of the season because calf injury. That's more serious than anybody's letting off to be.
That'll
you
probably
nailed
linger.
it on the head. What was that?
That calf injury with Achane will probably linger too. Like that just doesn't go away.
That doesn't go away. Yeah, and I mean, Tua, even when he's healthy, I'm not high on him. He's another guy who relies so heavily on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and clearly last year when he was healthy, that didn't even work out. And again, he's one big hit away from being done, which you hate to see. The defense is not all that good. I agree with you. I don't see a world where the Dolphins even compete. I mean, last year they stuck around. You know, it's not like they didn't. Last year they were 8-9, which was somehow good for second in the AFC East. If they win a couple games during the playoffs,
they just can't win. They don't beat good teams, the Dolphins. At least last year they didn't. And granted, with that being said, I think they're going to finish last in the division, but they're still going to beat the Jets at least once in Miami.
There you go.
So,
all right, here we go. Last team here. I don't know if this is the team you're high on. Is the Indianapolis Colts. We'll get them up in just a second. There they are.
I'm definitely not high on the Colts. I mean, I like Daniel Jones, I do, but I don't think he's going to lead a Colts team. And I know, Shane Steichen's still the coach over there, right? Like, I like him.
Steichen's awesome.
Yeah, he's really good. I don't know, dude. Like, the division is so weak, but I just don't feel like the Colts are going to be strong enough to come out of it. I don't think they make the playoffs.
I'll say this. Am I high on Daniel Jones? Absolutely not. Is a change of scenery good for him? Of course it is. And there's some similarities with the Colts and the Giants when he went to the playoffs. He has got basically nobody to throw the ball to. You know, if Joshua Downs is your wide receiver one, you're in trouble. Jonathan Taylor is an elite running back. You have a pretty good defense. And, Tyler Warren's going to be a stud. I love Tyler Warren. I know you love him too.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
And Daniel Jones, a guy who is going to have to rely on those safety valve options. Taylor out of the backfield, Tyler Warren, who he developed a great connection with in the preseason and in training camp. I think the Colts have a conversation to even win the division because they're going to be like an NFC South situation. There's not going to be a team, in my opinion, that gets in the playoffs if they don't win the division.
Yeah.
I like them. Now, I mean, you have your team. So hold on, let's get a graphic up for you here.
Oh, and by the way, there's 14 teams that make the playoffs, so 7 in each division or conference. Sorry.
Hold on here. You have a team that you were very high on in the AFC South. Who is Jeremy's mystery team?
Oh, my own. I like the Jaguars to win the division.
Really? The Jaguars?
Yeah, I love it. I like it. I think that this is the put up or shut up year for Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not a huge Trevor Lawrence guy, but when he's healthy, he is very, very good. I think you bring over Travis Hunter to match up with Brian Thomas Jr., I think they're going to be a really, really good offense. I don't really love the Texans either. I think the Jaguars can leap them and get back into the postseason by winning the division. I think there's a chance. I really, really do. And I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. I'm buying into the Jaguar stock. I love Travis Hunter. I think I have him in all 3 of my fantasy leagues. He's going to be a really good piece for that offense. He's going to, like I said, match up well with Brian Thomas Jr. I like ETN. I know last year he was kind of up and down. And I don't think their defense is that bad either. And they play in such a weak division. Like, all you got to do is beat Houston twice, and you probably win the division. That's really all you got to do.
No, they really – I see where you're coming from. I do. I understand it. And the vision is there. I think BTJ is awesome, obviously.
Yeah.
Who's the guy they draft? I always forget his first name. Strange is going to be a really good tight end.
Oh, Brendan Strange. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. He's going to be really good. I think he's going to be a good pickup, very different from what you have in Evan Ingram, but I don't think it's a bad thing at all. The running back situation's a mess. I don't know if ETN's the guy. I don't know who's the guy in Jacksonville. They have no run game whatsoever. But, I mean, I do understand it, and I could see them sneaking in. Is it likely? No. While we're here with mystery teams.
I mean, one quick thing, not to cut you off, but, like,
you go.
I feel like last year there was just so much outside noise with them. Doug Peterson and Lawrence getting hurt and whatever it was. Now you bring over Liam Cohen, who, not that he, like, revived Baker Mayfield's career, but, like, look what he did for Mayfield last year in Tampa. I think Cohen's system will really help out Lawrence, and he's going to turn into another, not a top tier guy, but like he'll be right in between the second and third tier of quarterbacks, and it's going to be enough to win this division because, to be honest with you, the division sucks.
It does. I mean, I could see the Texans going out and winning it again just by default.
Right. And if it's not the Jaguars, it's the Texans.
Yeah. Or the Colts. Or Daniel Jones and the Colts.
If we're playing Madden, maybe.
Okay, I have a mystery team here. I'm going to say it right now before you drop your draw. Drop your jaw. There we go.
I'm not going to drop my draws.
I might. Check it out. I'm not even wearing pants.
Wow.
I have one team that I think is going to take a nice leap forward this year. And everyone always wants to talk about that Lions-esque team that, out of nowhere makes the playoffs. Last year was the Commanders. Lions, obviously, they coined the whole thing before that. I have a team that I don't think is going to come close to the playoffs, but are going to be much better. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to have an awesome year.
Yeah.
Bryce Young has totally turned it around after getting benched. Ted McMillan, in my opinion, is going to make an instant impact on this team. Xavier Legette is a really good wide receiver, too.
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard, if he's going to have a really good season, I like it. I like the offense in Carolina. And Bryce Young is going to be a big forefront of that. Their defense sucks. That's what's going to keep them out of games.
Playing a lot of high-scoring games. It's got to outscore the opponent.
A lot of high-scoring games. Yeah. But it's going to be one of those teams where they're going to suck, but hopefully they're fun. They're going to cover. That's what you need from them, just cover.
Yeah, I like that. And they just traded away Thielen, too. So Tet is obviously the wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Legette is the wide receiver 2. I like what they have going on in Carolina, at least on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to be competitive. They're going to cover the number. That's what matters.
I like the Panthers a lot. I think that they are going to definitely make some strides forward. Okay. That's everybody. We hit on all the teams. That'll do it for episode 23 of the No Good Takes podcast. Thank you all so much for watching, tuning in. Jeremy Horowitz, Giuseppe Oliveri. We do have our shout-outs to go around. Here we go. Bunk has the bunker. Mike has mic'd up. Together they make up the Burrows. JM and Mike do the Hardline Sports Talk. Go check out what Gabe does on the Playbook. Some incredible stuff there. As always, Jeremy and I will be back on Tuesday. We'll give you our division predictions, playoff predictions, all that fun stuff for the NFL on Thursday. It'll be is that Thursday Night Football? Is that the
first game of the season.
It's the first game of the season. We'll give you that. Or maybe we won't give you that. I'll be in school. Oh, I got to figure out.
Right.
We're going to have to figure out a good old podcast schedule here. It'll be fun. Speaking of schedules, I got to meet my advisor in 15 minutes to talk about my doomed fall semester schedule.
Have fun.
And that'll do it. Jeremy was called about Hofstra. He will not be taking the job, unfortunately. And that'll do it. We thank you all so much for watching.
Take Boise State to cover.
Take Boise State to cover. Goodbye, all.